The Switch 2 is announced and Nintendo fans are excitedly waiting for more information about it. There are a lot of questions lingering about the console itself and the titles that are possibly coming to it. So we at Game Rant asked our community which games would convince them to buy a Switch 2. Whether it be a new or returning title, we want to know. Now, I must be candid with you, I'm probably going to pick up the console regardless of which titles are announced for it, much like Grayson, who feels the same way. But I do have two series that would make me immediately buy this console at launch if they had solid titles announced for it: Pokémon and The Legend of Zelda. Pokémon Legends ZA is right around the corner, so that might be releasing on both consoles, plus Generation 10 is looming in the future. And if the next Zelda game makes me as excited to explore as the last few have, then that's certainly a plus. But there's one series that hasn't received much love in the past decade that I would go insane for. If Nintendo brings back Kid Icarus, I would be willing to put myself in financial ruin for the chance to play it. I don't care if it's a port of Uprising, I don't care if it's a sequel, just bring it back and a lot of people, myself included, will buy this console and the game, no questions asked. I'm writing this well before the Nintendo Direct airs, so if there's information in there about any of these three series, just know I'm popping off. Something I did notice about the Switch 2 was that the Joy-Cons have mouse sensors, meaning they could, in theory, use them like the DS touchscreen. One controller could be used as a stylus and touchscreen, while the other is used for its buttons. Just a thought, and definitely not a desperate attempt to justify my coping for Switch ports of more DS games. Another game that would be exciting to see would be a new Animal Crossing, posted by Carly. New Horizons was a huge hit on the Switch for no reason in particular, and I have a feeling that a lot of people got attached to the escapism the game supplies. Plenty of people want to see a new Pokemon game on the Switch 2, which I definitely think we'll see sooner rather than later, but Psyduck mentioned porting an older generation onto the newer hardware. They did something similar with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and a generation like Heart Gold and Soul Silver hasn't received the kind of love that fans would hope for. Although, if we're being honest, with Legends ZA taking place in Gen 6, that might be more likely to see a port of, but I could very well be wrong. Either way, I would be very excited. Community member E807 mentioned Super Smash Bros., and while I would be completely on board with that, I just don't know how they would follow up Ultimate. It sets such a high bar for roster size that the next game would have to cut some characters just for the sake of keeping things reasonable. We'll just have to see. A new Mario Maker would definitely be a hit on the Switch 2, seeing how the first two essentially created a Mario title with infinite levels. Plus the inclusion of player-created worlds in the second game, and the vast amount of power-ups in the mainline games, a third game would certainly be welcome. You also mentioned Factorio, and I don't think the world is ready for a portable Factorio. That game kills time like nothing else, and you want it to be on something that could be carried around? Nothing would get done, and society would collapse. That being said, I'd probably buy it. Michael suggests a new Kirby Air Ride or Mario Odyssey 2, both of which would be a cool addition. I definitely think we'll see another Mario 3D platformer, and with how much Odyssey revolutionized the series, it would make a lot of sense if Nintendo chooses to follow up with that. Kirby Air Ride is less likely, but I'll be holding out for it as well. Any and all GameCube love is greatly appreciated. But now is the time for you to let us know what you want to see on the Switch 2. Which new or returning title would sell you on this new console? Which series do you want to see represented on a more powerful Nintendo console? If you're on the fence about buying it, what title or feature would convince you to make a purchase? Make sure to tell us in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.